Hello everyone, welcome back. Savard is here, coming back with part 10 of What If Deku Had Half and Half Quirk. Now, where we last left off, All For One was fighting against All Might, Izuku and Bakugo, and in the end, All For One was managing to control Izuku body by his tentacles, forcibly activating Izuku quirk into a degree that he shooting electricity all around to hurt Bakugo and All Might. In the end, he see that Izuku start getting weaker and might even died, as his right half of his body is just being destroyed technically because the electricity were so strong that is even start to, go right through Izuku meat and also skin, just slashing him and just hurting him a lot. After that, he decided to just throw him away and Bakugo fly after Izuku, but in the end, Izuku being covered by a weird looking, grey goo, teleporting him into another place which is right now is unknown for the heroes. In the end, Bakugo and All Might working together managed to defeat All For One, and Bakugo starts, just getting hold of All For One jacket, starts screaming in his face telling him, "Where is the fuck is Izuku?" As right now we continue, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and my Discord down in the description, and let's get right into it. As after that, Bakugo right now in the hospital just sitting down on the bed, as immediately All Might just come into the place and said, "Bakugo, are you okay?" As Bakugo said, "I'm okay, but where the fuck is Midoriya?" As All Might said, we really don't know. All the heroes are right now searching around the area where the fight has taken place, but we doesn't find Izuku anywhere. As Bakugo said, "That fucking All For One, he's the one that teleported him somewhere. We need to know information of him. We need to know where he is now." As All Might said, "I know, Bakugo. We will gonna, after this, I'm gonna go into Tartarus prison to talk with All For One to see if I could take any information out of him to know where is Izuku right now is." As Bakugo said, "Damn it, we managed to capture him, but where is Deku?" As after that, suddenly the door opened up, revealing, Todoroki, as Todoroki coming closer into Bakugo and said, "Bakugo, where is Midoriya?" As Bakugo looking down Todoroki and said, "I doesn't know." As Todoroki said, "What?" As Bakugo said, "I don't know. Alright, I really doesn't know anything. I doesn't know where the fuck is Midoriya. That fucking All For One." As after that, Bakugo just getting angry, and All Might said, "Alright, both of you calm down. Bakugo, take a rest and try to recover. Todoroki, go back into your home," or something like that. "The heroes will gonna take care of this." As Todoroki said, "But can you please tell me what's happened with him?" As All Might said, "Don't worry, I'm gonna get him back no matter what." As after that, All Might just leave the room. He's right now in his skinny form because the whole world has already, saw All Might's skinny form. And after that, immediately All Might just leave the place. And the next day, Bakugo going into UA because he already recovered. It wasn't so much of injuries, unlike Izuku, that right now is not even here. Bakugo go into the class and sit down, as Aizawa said, "Well, good morning class. Today we will gonna finally get you to do your, hero license exam." As Bakugo said, "Hero license exam? What the fuck is that is?" As Aizawa said, "Well, seeing that the villains were attacking us quite frequently, and right now the world need more heroes, we decided that it's better for you to have your, hero license. If anyone told you not to use your quirk, you will gonna be able to use them freely. Alright, now, everyone, go after me." As everyone just going after Aizawa into, the bus. In the end, everyone just they going down the bus and meeting with everyone else, as, Aizawa seeing Miss Joke. Miss Joke start throwing, from her name, aka Jokes. In the end, Baku just seeing this, he just doesn't focus on anything, and Todoroki by his side saying, "Hey, are you still worried about Midoriya?" As Baku said, "Of course I'm fucking worried. He just disappeared and I really doesn't know where the fuck he is. And the words that All For One said, He said that he might turn him into a Nomo, and I'm not gonna just leave that to happen. As of course Baku said, how the hell you are calming down? Isn't he your boyfriend? As Todoroki said, that's not true, but I can't really do anything right now, so I only will gonna wait to see if anything will change, and when I'm gonna take my chances, I'm not just gonna let him leave my hands. As after that Baku said, yeah, whatever, I'm gonna go inside. As after that, everyone changing into their hero outfits, and in the end after that, of course the hero license exams start. Bakugo this time decided to stick with the team because, you know, Izuku and things like that. He decided to stick with the team so he can help them and make sure that nothing will gonna hurt them. And also Todoroki doing the same because she just want to, you know, stay with everyone else to make sure that no one will gonna get hurt. In the end, after a couple of hours from fighting and going left to right, in the end all Class 1A managed to actually, of course, take the hero license exam and actually graduating from it and taking their own, you know, of course, hero license. As after that Baku just looking on his hero license and said, Deku would have loved this thing to have a hero license. He really would have started jumping left to right, up and down and all around the place. Whatever. And after that Todoroki said, hey Bakugo, do you want to, you know, go outside tonight, maybe search for Izuku in the alleyways and maybe, you know, just looking around? As Baku said, you know what, that's actually a good idea. Maybe I can't use my, and actually, yeah, I can use my quirk now since I have this. So, we will gonna search in the night. Alright, don't tell anyone. As after that Todoroki said, alright. And after that Bakugo leaving this place, but while that's happening, on another side of the place, of course, there are some other things that happening. On the opposite side of course, the exam area, Toga coming out, of course, wearing her school uniform, or, you know, just camouflaging herself as Kami, as she right now walking into an alleyway, and she, you know, having someone calling her on her phone. As after that she said, oh yeah, hey Shigaraki. As after that Shigaraki said, did you get it? As she said, oh yeah, I get it, and it was actually fun to be here. I saw lots of people. I saw Todoroki, Bakugo, and even Ochako, but I really was wondering where's Midoriya is. As after that of course Shigaraki said, yeah, don't worry, let's just, good thing that you get it, alright? As, you know, she, of course, the Toga said, yeah, I get it, so what should I do now? As Shigaraki said, you will gonna find someone in go into an alleyway, and you will gonna find someone wearing a black hoodie jacket and a full white mask. Just give it to him, alright? Alright, Toga? As Toga said, alright. And after that, Toga going into a dark alleyway. As she inside the, you know, the alleyway, she see a man having his hands inside his jacket pockets, wearing a full white mask with his hoodie on his head, just leaning against the wall. As the, you know, Toga said, are you the man that Shigaraki was talking about? As after that, he just coming closer into Toga and just putting his hand in front of him. As Toga said, ooh, quiet, you just want the thing, right? As she just giving him the thing. And after that she said, so what's your, but before he, you know, she continue, immediately the man just turned around and start walking out of the alleyway. Toga start walking by his side saying, hey, let's just talk. I mean, if you are working with Shigaraki, that means you are working with me. That means that you are a part of the League of Villains, right? As the man just walking with his hand on his pockets. Immediately after that, Toga said, oh come on, please, let's just talk. And the man is just continue walking while Toga's just talking with him. And while that happening, we cut back into Bakugo. As Bakugo right now, of course, in the park, and right now it's nighttime, just wearing his own black hoodie jacket and just to hide himself, as he looking left to right, and in the end he see Todoroki. As he said, Todoroki, you are here? As after that Todoroki said, yeah, I'm here, let's go. And after that Bakugo and Todoroki, of course, just putting some corona masks on their faces to make sure that no one will gonna see them, start walking in the alleyways. In the end, they found a little, you can say, a fighting club. As Todoroki said, "This is a fighting club, Bakugo." As Bakugo said, "Yeah, if there's someone that knows where Deku is, it must be this place. I mean, I saw lots of movies, and I'm sure that there's some information that I can take out from this place." After that, Bakugo come inside the place, and in the end, he, sit on a table as he looking down into an arena. Of course, Todoroki is by his side, as the arena right now, a guy in the middle of the arena said, "Well, hello everyone, and welcome into our first ever champion, or what they can call it. I doesn't really know. Fighting club. Now, today we will gonna have a tournament, and if any one of you villains want to join into the tournament, just come here and jump into the arena." As after that, of course, President Mike, Villain Edition, said, "But make sure that you know your tricks, because this is a tournament for $1 million, and the loser might lose his life." After that, Baku starts seeing some people jumping into the arena. As after that, he stand up and was about to jump in, but Todoroki immediately got hold of him as she said, "Where are you going, Bakugo?" As Bakugo said, "I need to know. If I join this tournament, I will gonna be able to know some informations. Are you gonna join me or not?" As Todoroki said, "This is very dangerous." As of course, Baku said, "So what? I'm not just gonna sit down and wait. I need to know something. Anything. So, are you with me, Todoroki, or not?" As Todoroki just said, "Alright, I'm not just gonna leave you go into the arena alone, so I'm with you." And after that, Bakugo and Todoroki jump into the arena. As after that, Bakugo, looking on his left and right. As after that, he looking on the left, he sees someone jumping down, wearing a full white mask with a hoodie jacket on his head. After that, Bakugo just seeing this guy just putting his hands in his pockets, as he said, whatever. And in the end, the first match begins, which is basically Todoroki against a random villain, which is, in the end, it's resulted in Todoroki wins. And Todoroki actually has decided to use only his fire, or, she decided to use only her fire, because making sure that no one, suspect her about being a student of UA. In the end, Bakugo turn came in and start fighting a couple of villains. In the end, the last fight has finally come, as of course Bakugo and Todoroki are being against each other in the semifinals. As Bakugo said, "So, do you want me to lose, or you are the one that going to lose?" As Todoroki said, "Well, Izuku was your friend, and you know him better than I do, so you can have the last, fight." As after that, Bakugo, or Todoroki just going out of the ring, leaving Bakugo to win. And of course, they didn't kill anyone. They are student of UA, not some sort of a vigilantes. In the end, Bakugo going in the last fights. As in the end, of course, President Mike said, "Well, the last fight will be Bakugo." Or not Bakugo, let's just say, Lord Explosion Murder against. As after that, Bakugo seeing someone jumping in the arena, the same black hooded figure with the white mask. As of course, immediately President Mike said, "Black!" As immediately after that, he said, "Well, let the finals begin!" As immediately after that, Bakugo start engulfing some explosions in his hand. As suddenly after that, the guy starts, dodging into the left and dodging Bakugo attack, as he immediately getting hold of Bakugo arm and turn around and smash him, into the ground. After that, he throwing a punch into Bakugo face, but Bakugo managed to move his face a little bit into the left, dodging the attack and throwing an explosion into the face of the man. Immediately after that, the guy just go a little bit back and putting his mask back, making sure that it doesn't fall. As Bakugo said, "You are a quiet person, huh? You doesn't talk much." As he immediately Bakugo start flying on the man with the right hook. The man immediately dodging into the right and got hold of the right arm of Bakugo and tried to, of course, flip him again and smash him back into the ground, but Bakugo immediately this time was ready to him. and is throwing an explosion on his back to not, being thrown into the ground. As after that, the man just go, and fall on his knees. Bakugo throwing another explosion, throwing him into the wall. As Bakugo said, "Let me tell you a little bit of secret, asshole. Quiet people piss me off." As after that, Bakugo going flying on the man and saying, "Die!" As immediately after that, he throw an explosion. And he just see a lots of smoke, and when the smoke clears, he doesn't see the black hooded figure anywhere. As after that, Bakugo said, "Where the fuck?" But before he managed to talk anymore, suddenly he feel a sharp pain on the side of his stomach as he fall on his knees, and after that, looking back, he see the black figure just has kicked him in the side of the stomach. As Bakugo said, "What the?" As immediately the man getting hold of Bakugo's neck and throw him into the wall of the opposite side of the ring. After that, the man coming closer into Bakugo starts walking calmly, just cracking his fingers as Bakugo tries to stand up and immediately starts going up in the air and up until he finally said, "How, sir? Impact!" As immediately after that, he go downward on the man and immediately he smash into the ground as the man immediately crossing his hand together, knowing that he can't dodge this attack, so he decided to protect himself. In the end, the smoke covered the whole arena, and the mask of the man fell as when Bakugo looked in front of him, he only see Izuku with a black hair and a bloody red eyes. As Bakugo looking in front of him and seeing Izuku just coughing some blood, as he said, "What? Deku?" As after that, Izuku looking at him and said, "Damn it, my mission failed." As after that, immediately, whatever is Izuku right now is doing, he's engulfing his right arm with a blue electricity as he immediately throwing this shock of electricity on Bakugo, while Bakugo is still shocked by this, but immediately before the electricity managed to touch Bakugo, a wall of ice being built in front of him, and Todoroki jump into the arena still wearing her mask so no one knows her, as she said, "Bakugo, come on," as Bakugo said, this is Deku." As after that, Todoroki said, "What?" As immediately after that, suddenly they see only a shadow covering them. As they look up, they see Izuku just jumped in the air and do a backflip as he putting his right arm in front of him and shooting like an electricity wave on Bakugo and of course Todoroki. Todoroki immediately making a wall of ice above their heads, and Izuku, jumping into the opposite side of the ring. As after that, Bakugo just exploding the ice around of him and going on Izuku saying, "What the hell, Deku? What are you doing here?" As after that, Izuku just looking at him so calmly and just quite different, to say the least. He's just doesn't even speak. As Bakugo said, "Why aren't you not speaking? Speak to me!" As after that, Izuku just looking at him and immediately start engulfing his right arm with electricity. As Todoroki said, "Izuku, this is me, Todoroki, don't you remember me?" As immediately Izuku looking at her as he leaning his head a little bit into the left side and said, "No, I never know you in my life." As he immediately throwing his right hand in front of him on Todoroki. Todoroki wasn't having so much time to be able to build a wall of ice in front of her, but before she managed to be crushed by this, the lightning, Bakugo throwing an explosion in front of his face, making the, you can say, blocking the attack of Izuku. As after that, he said, "What the fuck are you doing here?" As after that, he going flying on Izuku and throwing an explosion. Before he managed to get very close into Izuku, suddenly his face being smashed into an invisible wall. As after that, he said, "What the?" As immediately he being pushed back by an air shock, throwing him into the wall. As Todoroki looking at Bakugo, and immediately she said, "Bakugo," but before she managed to continue, she immediately getting a kick into her stomach as she fall on her knees, and immediately looking up, she just see Izuku with an blue electricity flirking by his right side. And after that, she said, "Izuku, what the hell are you doing?" As after that, Izuku said, "Who the fuck is Izuku?" And immediately he just give her a head up, just hit her on her forehead with his own head, and immediately throw her by the side of Bakugo. As he continues saying, "Well, I was supposedly here to kill some specific person, but since both of you has come in my way, I think it will not gonna be such a big deal if I just get rid of you both right here and now. And before he managed to continue, Bakugo jumped into the air and said, "How, sir, am back!" as he threw an explosion on Izuku. Immediately Todoroki coming from behind and covering Izuku, leg with, of course, ice, as she coming closer and Izuku getting ready to, of course, block the attack of the fire that she were about to shoot at him. But instead of a fire wave, Izuku immediately being kissed by Todoroki, as Todoroki just kissing Izuku, and after that just jumping back saying, "Izuku, this is me, it's me, Todoroki, doesn't you remember me?" As after that Izuku just quite looking weird, wondering who the hell this girl is. As after that Bakugo coming closer and got hold of Izuku's neck and said, "Fucking asshole, what are you doing here? And what's happened to your hair and eyes?" As after that, Izuku just looking on Bakugo and immediately just spit in his eyes, as he said, "Leave me alone, both of you." As after that, suddenly Todoroki continues saying, "Don't you remember us? It's me, Todoroki." As Izuku said, "Who the fuck are you? Just leave me." As after that, Izuku suddenly exploded himself with electricity as he started breathing heavily and coughing some blood. As Bug said, "Looks like that you still have your weak point of your lungs being exploded and your organs stopped working." As Izuku is quite shocked by this, as he said, "How the hell do you know about this?" As Bug said, "You told me, you idiot." As after that, Bakugo were about to go flying on Izuku, but before he managed to do that, suddenly a wave of blue fire just stopping him in his way, and Dabi just jumped into the arena as he said, "Alright, I think this time to end the party." As after that, Dabi said, "Are you okay, Black?" As Izuku said, "Yeah, I'm okay. Thanks, Dabi." As Dabi said, "No worries, just go right through the portal." As immediately Izuku just go by the portal of course, Kirigiri, as Bakugo jumped in the air and said, "Wait a minute, what the fuck did you do to Midoriya?" As after that, of course, Dabi just smiled and said, "Who the fuck is Midoriya?" As immediately after that, he just jumped into the portal too, as Bakugo and Todoroki being left there to wonder what the hell that was. As Bakugo said, "That was Midoriya." As Todoroki said, "What the hell happened to him?" As Bakugo said, "I don't know, but we need to get out of this place." And after that, Bakugo just getting hold of Todoroki and immediately just throw an explosion on a wall, getting out of the place. And after a couple of minutes of running away, they finally, every one of them, just go back into their houses. While that happening, as we cut into Dr. Ujiko that right now is still in his lab, as he said, "Well, it was certainly an interesting fight from you, Black. I really enjoyed watching it, and the information that you got me is really valuable." As he started, just testing some things and said, "This might kill you if it's, will not gonna make you stronger, but you know what they say, what doesn't kill you make you stronger, right?" As after that, Dr. Ujiko putting some liquid inside a syringe, and after that he said, "Well, I hope that you will not gonna die after that." As he turned around and looking on Izuku that right now sitting on a hospital bed without his shirt on, revealing his body that on the right side of his body from of course his waist into his neck, there is some sort of a scar going on the shape of electricity. As Izuku just looking on his right arm that filled with this scar, as he said, "Alright, just give it to me already." As after that, Dr. Ujiko coming closer and said, "I have to warn you, this might not be." As immediately Izuku just taken the syringe out of his hand and said, "Just give it to me already, you know that I will gonna take it." As Dr. Ujiko said, "Alright, Black, alright. Just take it easy and make sure that you're not gonna kill yourself." As after that, Izuku immediately putting the syringe inside his neck, as after that he fall on the ground and start breathing heavily and coughing a lots of blood. And after 1 minute of basically suffering, he just stand up, and after that Dr. Ujiko said, "So, how do you feel?" As Izuku said, "I feel quite different." As Dr. Ujiko said, How about you trying doing your electricity, as Izuku tried to do that, as his electricity is turned up, to be, of course, still in a blue color, but slowly but surely, the blue just fading away and it's turned into crimson red with a black color electricity, as Izuku said, thanks for this. This will be certainly interesting, as Dr. Ujiko said, alright, I hope that you enjoy your new quirk. Go into the League of Villains. I'm sure that you right now deserve a rest after that hard fight against Katsuki, Bakugo, and Todoroki. As Izuku said, yeah, thanks again, Doctor. Thanks. And this one gonna leave it off, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below. Tell me what you think about this part, and what do you think will gonna happen the next part. Well, I have nothing more to say than Severed was here.